Ahoy, and welcome back to my playthrough of Jenny LeClue.
You never forget the first time you see a dead body. It harrows the mind, terrifies the soul, scars you to your very core.
A dead body? No way! This is amazing!
Who lay under that curtain? Who had breathed their last breath? Who had shuffled off this mortal coil to meet their maker?
It could be anyone. I mean, it could be an escaped lunatic from the asylum. Or an axe-wielding maniac on the run from the cops. It could be...
It could be...
Mom? Oh no. Please, no.
No, you never forget the first time you see a dead body. Jenny knew it was wrong to disturb the crime scene.
But I have to know who's under here.
Slowly, she drew back the heavy cloth.
Please don't be my mom. Please don't be my mom. Dean Stroudsbury! Thank God. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Poor Mr. Stroudsbury. What happened to you?
Was this a terrible accident? Or worse?
Murder!
Her stomach churned. Seeing the Dean's lifeless face, his contorted frame, Jenny felt the urge to run, to get as far away from this horrific sight as possible. Jenny had longed for an adventure, for a real case to solve.
I didn't expect it to be like this.
She gathered herself, took a deep breath, and began to search for clues.
It's a book about predicting the future. I suppose it didn't belong to Mr. Stroudsbury then. It's smashed, most likely from the fall. The hand stopped at 3:57 p.m. That gives me a potential time of death.
If Jenny had arrived just a few minutes earlier,
I might have been able to save him.
the Dean's planner lay open on today's date.
Perhaps I can retrace his steps and create a timeline of events. Meet JL. Could that be Mom? Where's Widow's Drop? I've never heard of it. Looks like he completed all his chores for the day. I already knew the Dean was meeting Mom here. So where is she now? Looks like he canceled his meetings on Friday and rearranged lunch with Keith. Oh, poor Keith.
Jenny didn't know how she would break the news to him.
But I should be the one to tell him. Gossip spreads like wildfire in Arthurton. He sure was working hard on that speech. I'm sad he won't get to deliver it. A book about chance. What are the odds that this was an accident? The Hawk and the Weasel and Other Bedtime Stories. It could be important. Then again, it could have just joined the Dean for the ride. There are bits of glass and metal debris everywhere. He has burn marks on his hand.
The Dean's hand was clamped shut around a small object.
That's strange. Rigor mortis usually takes hours to set in. I'm sorry for what I'm about to do, Mr. Stroudsbury, but this could be a vital clue. Mom's ID card? But that means
Julie LeClue had definitely been here.
she could be the last person to have seen him alive.
She could be the killer.
Impossible. My mother's a forensic expert. She'd never leave such incriminating evidence behind.
But even the smartest criminals made mistakes. Jenny couldn't deny this looked bad for her mum.
If anyone else sees this, they'll jump to conclusions. They'll think my mom's a murderer. Unless
A peculiar thought crossed Jenny's mind.
there's nothing to find.
Removing evidence from a crime scene was highly unethical.
So is planting evidence to frame an innocent person.
She had no proof of that.
I have to do something. My mom would kill me if she knew I was tampering with evidence. But I have to protect her. He looks like he's been dead for weeks. His skin is pale and colorless. And there's a strange mark on his neck. I think that's all the evidence I'm going to find here.
She took one last look at the Dean's lifeless body.
I'm sorry, Mr. Stroudsbury. I promise I'll get to the bottom of this.
Jenny knew she should leave and call the police. But how often did a case like this come along?
Never. There's more to this than meets the eye. Some of this evidence must be connected.
So she opened her journal to join the dots.
What was the apparent cause of death? It looks like the Dean was thrown from the balcony when he reached down to pick up his ring, which was stuck in the electrified ladder track. He grabbed the curtain, but it didn't slow him down. He landed on a bed of metal and glass debris. What is unusual about the Dean's death? Dean has a strange mark on his neck. All the skin around his face is gray and gaunt. I've never seen anything like it before. He's holding my mom's ID card, which makes her the prime suspect. But why would she, or anyone, want to kill Dean Stroudsbury?
Jenny suspected foul play, but what was the motive? Had she missed something?
The watch! The Dean's watch stopped at 3:57 p.m. When I came into the library, the clock tower rang 4 times. The library only has one exit, and I haven't seen anyone but the Dean since I got here.
Which meant, if the Dean was murdered...
The killer must still be here. He's getting away!
Jenny could hear police sirens in the distance.
Someone must have tipped them off. I'll catch the murderer and keep him busy until the cops arrive.
Chasing after murderers was hardly the job of a little girl.
Hey you! Stop!
Despite surviving her fall without so much as a broken bone, Jenny couldn't help but feel she had failed. As the sirens grew louder, she knew it would only be a matter of time before the sheriff arrived. And then she'd have to explain why she hadn't called for help. But the worst feeling of all was that she had let the killer escape. As she drifted slowly into unconsciousness, Jenny heard a familiar voice. Concerned, gentle, soothing.
Jenny? Oh, Jenny, what have you done?
Mom?
Freeze! You're under arrest!
What have I done? I killed him! This is all wrong. Murder in Arthurton? This is not an appropriate story for Jenny LeClue. Poor Dean Stroudsbury. What was I thinking? I've gone too far. Perhaps I should take a break. Come on, Rufus. Let's go for a walk. Clear our heads and work off some of this jam.
Why were you there?
I told you I was looking for Mom.
Why?
We were going to grade papers. When do I get to see her?
Did you disturb the crime scene?
Of course not. Now let me speak to my mom. at me! Keith, wait! What a horrible nightmare! Dean Stroudsbury was dead. My mom was in jail. Keith told me he never wanted to see me again. And worst of all, I was surrounded by an evil army of giant teddy bears.
Unfortunately, it was all true, including the teddy bears.
My eyes! There's something wrong with them! Everything's pink!
But her eyes were fine. It was the room that was pink. Pink cuddly toys. Pink furniture. Pink clothes. And a hand-drawn homage to teenage heartthrob Pelvis Cressley. Covered in pink hearts. Everything a teenage girl could dream of.
It looks like a marshmallow exploded.
It was at this point Jenny remembered where she was.
I shouldn't be here. What happened? And what is that terrible music? I can't think straight with that racket playing. These aren't my clothes. And where's my journal?
That wasn't the only thing missing.
The Dean's ring! It was in my pocket. You're the fan that I love.
Ah yes, the eagerly awaited follow-up to the smash hit. Even though I'm a big star and you're just a fan, perhaps someday we could be together.
Ugh, who buys this crap? Huh? Hushed whispers in the hallway? I should investigate. It's locked from the outside. Who would trap a child in this nightmarish hellscape?
Jenny peeped through the tiny keyhole. As her eyes adjusted to the light, she recognized the substantial frame of Winston LeClue, Arthurton's long-standing sheriff, and Jenny's.
Granddad!
Jenny's relationship with her grandfather was contentious, to say the least. He was a stern and humorless man who placed honor, tradition, and the law above all else.
Sometimes even family.
But what was he doing here?
And who is he talking to?
Florence and Richard Glatz were the wealthiest couple in town, and hugely influential. Their company, Glatz Mining and Supply Corps, was the oldest in Arthurton. While Richard may have been the head of the business, everyone knew that Florence wore the pants. Exceptionally charming and generous, she always had a smile on her face.
Which is why I don't trust her one bit.
Being careful not to make a sound, Jenny leaned in and listened.
With everything going on, I don't have time to watch her.
It's no trouble at all, really, Winston. She can stay for as long as she likes. The girls are great friends. I only hope she feels better soon. That was quite the scene she made at the funeral.
She should have left the boy alone.
Really, Winston, this whole situation must be unbearably traumatic for the poor girl. Her mother in jail, and what she saw in the library. One shudders at the thought. And all this barely a year after what happened to Henry.
She'll be fine. Just keep an eye on her. She can be a real handful.
Oh, don't worry, I've planned everything. Pony rides, afternoon tea, and tomorrow, we're going dress shopping. Oh, that reminds me. I have something for you.
Dress shopping? First they locked me up, now they want to torture me? I need to get out of here. Fast.
But her curiosity was piqued. She had to know what Mrs. Glatz had gone to fetch, and so she waited. The duty of sheriff had been Winston's birthright, passed from father to son for generations. Of course, that tradition would now end with him, but he preferred not to think about that. Nathaniel Glatz stared disapprovingly back at Jenny.
Creepy old man.
Actually, this was the man who saved Arthurton. When the quartz mines began to run dry, it was his research into the unique properties of the crystals that secured the future prosperity of the town and the company. When Thalladius T. Pumberbitten discovered the first quartz seam lining the Great Mountains, little did he know the impact it would have on the future of the town.
Little did he know the Glatz family would muscle in and take over the whole operation.
Nowadays, it was hard to go anywhere in town without seeing something made from it.
Huh? Where did he go?
Winston, what are you doing down there?
Thought I heard something.
Really? A man of your age spying on teenage girls? I've told you already, she won't be going anywhere.
It was probably just Jenny's imagination, but those words felt oddly
Sinister.
Here.
Why does Mrs. Glatz have official police documents?
Satisfied?
How is Julie?
She's in the safest place, behind bars.
Surely they don't believe she's guilty.
I don't envy you, Winston. It must be hard to stay impartial. If the poor dear would just confess, it would make things much easier.
I have everything under control.
Of course you do, dear. No one doubts your loyalty to Arthurton. We must continue to look out for each other, now more than ever.
Sheriff, are you receiving?
Go ahead.
It's the LeClue house, sir. We found something.
I'll be right there. Over.
It sounds like you've got important things to take care of.
Yes. Well, good night, Florence.
Good night, Winston.
Don't let her out of your sight. She is a LeClue, after all.
I'm sure we'll manage.
Jenny couldn't believe what she'd just heard.
Everyone thinks my mom's a murderer.
Thankfully, her mother's fate was in safe hands. The fine people of the Atherton Police Department.
Oh, God. She's gonna rot in jail.
Jenny could leave the case to them and enjoy a fun week of pony rides and shopping sprees.
No.
No?
Mom always says a great detective leaves nothing to chance. I have to do something.
But she was just a kid. What could she possibly do?
This is my chance. The case of a lifetime. My mom needs me, and I won't let her down. I'm gonna find my stuff and get out of here.
And just like that, a great adventure began.
I love you. I love you. Ah! You're my best friend. You scared the life out of me, pig.
The sun was setting behind the great mountains of Atherton, cradling the town in a warm red embrace.
I slept the whole day away? I have to get out of here and make up for lost time. Best in show, horse ballet. First prize, advanced table etiquette? There's one here for best smile. Seriously? All the dangly bits are swaying. Strange. It's not windy in here. A heart-shaped mirror for the lady who loves herself. That's more fun than it should be. There's something strange about this mirror. This requires further investigation. Seriously, who has windows this big?
Below, Lake Nowhere stretched out as far as the eye could see. In the distance, Jenny could just make out the great lighthouse on Skull Island.
It's foggy out there tonight.
Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.